What's up, my know-it-alls? It's time for another recap and review. This time, it's The Wheel of Time, Season 2, Episode 4, The Daughter of Night. Not a bad episode.
It was really good, I thought.
I was really happy.
I thought it was good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was happy with this. Unlike some things I've been watching recently, we've been getting entire episodes. Why? Because clearly Amazon knows what they're doing. So I'm not bashing anyone, I promise. But I'm very happy to see that we got a really good, solid episode. It picks up a little bit where last week's left off in terms of like following and jumping right off into Nynaeve's story. Mm-hmm. And then we sort of pick up with each person and where everybody is at the moment. Last week at the end of the episode, if you remember, Rand accidentally burned down the inn where he was staying, the one that Celine owns, his girlfriend. For real. And so they end up going. She wants to go to the mountains. They go, while that's all happening and going on, Moiraine goes home to Cairhien because she needs to go visit people. And come to find out that the older socialite who was hitting on Rand, that's Moiraine's, wait for it, little sister. So, yeah, no, there's a lot of things. It's so funny. The show is bringing back memories of my own in my head of the books that I've read and whatnot. And whether it's following it or not,
they're still doing a good job.
The show is very engaging. Like, I find myself not even thinking about any of the inconsistencies, and there are some.
And I gotta say, you did point out when we see Moiraine looking like she should have looked in the beginning, according to what the book says, that this is what she was supposed to look like.
Absolutely.
And you that's literally the only time he said, well, that's very close to how I imagined her, like the book said. Like, I don't remember you saying anything else about the book during this.
Well, she's all dressed, so she goes home and she goes back to the Damodred house in Cairhien, and they show her get changed, and she's got the little gem above her head and the whole 9 yards in the dress. She looks like the way they describe Moiraine in the books, which is great. And and that's actually the way she was supposed to look when she originally met them. Right, up until that point. And so, in fact, you don't see her really kind of get into like riding skirts and the whole bit like she is now until probably a good clip in. So, but either way, thank you, by the way, to everybody in the comment section last week who was sort of helping correct my memory on some things. They pointed out a lot of the things were actually the way they, had said they were, and I was excited for it. Because it means we're engaging, and I love that. So thank you guys again. By all means, you're not hurting me in the least. If anything, you're keeping us honest, and I love that. So
and informing this one that has never read it, so you're all good.
Very, very true. But yeah, so what are some things that jumped out at you about the episode that you really liked?
I'm really glad we left the tower.
Yeah, me too.
It is exhausting watching Nynaeve.
Watching paint dry? But yeah, Nynaeve, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It is literally exhausting watching her, and it's just the whining and the bickering and the stopping and I bet you don't know, and but you do know, and I would do this. Oh, shut up! I'm done. And we all know what's her name's evil, so move on.
Leandrin?
Yeah, for me it was kind of nice to not be at the tower. Listening to them and following what was going on with Lan, what was going on with Rand,
I really enjoyed our first steps into Perrin.
I did like that. That was something I liked when I learned about Perrin.
Especially when you learn
more about
they start giving you the idea that he's a wolf brother, the whole 9 yards. Elias makes this slight intimation that they stay away from a Manuka channel because Manuka channel don't understand things, don't like things they don't understand. And there is a segment where they talk about, like, apparently he'd been captured in the past in the books. I mean, he'd been captured in the past by Reds, thinking he's a man who can channel or something. We're not understanding what's going on with him, and has been quote unquote more or less tortured. I'm going to call it what it is, until they figured out, we can't do anything. He's weird.
He's not even anything that we're used to.
He's an anomaly, so he likes to be left alone and stay away from them.
And they call them the Wolf Brothers, right?
Yes, and we get finally there's a wolf that's been kind of befriending Perrin, and we get to find out his name, which is like dances with wolves and jumps in the air and flips
Eating
over and does
fireflies
things.
and sparks and
Yeah.
fire. At least that's how you explained it to me.
Or basically
Hopper. I kind
And
of liked
so, yeah.
Hopper, Jumper.
No, totally. And it's
Leaper.
I'm glad they kept that because Hopper is very close to. And what's funny is he starts to understand how they think in imagery because in the stories wolves don't talk, so they can't articulate words like we do. They associate the image with the thing. If it's a stag, you're going to see an image of a stag. They're going to, if they want to hunt it, you'll see an image of them, people hunting, or whatever else. Like you'll get an idea based on the imagery. So that's how they speak, and I really like that they delved
I like
into
that we
some
can
of that.
see that.
Yeah, me too. I think it was very cool the way they did that. Moraine shows back up in Kyrene, obviously. While she's there, she goes and visits a lot of the people who used to apparently work for her. Only later on.
Dude, that was awesome. I'm sorry.
It was. Only to find out her little sister has demanded to see her because she hasn't talked to her in a while.
Decades.
Her older looking little sister.
Decades.
So then she gets there and the little sister's like, oh yeah, well we're gonna have a conversation. Oh, I don't think I have a conversation. It's like, look at me, man. I done built this house and this family into something special. I'm not gonna have you break and bust it. And at the end of the day, all these people you're asking about, if you want to know who the young man is, you're gonna have to sit down and have tea with me. And I'm like, oh my God.
Considering we do that in my house
Like
every
a
once in a while,
boss.
if not, we try to do it every day, but just to connect and be like, so how's your day going?
Yeah,
how's
no,
your day
totally,
going?
totally.
Dude, I felt that.
She did so good.
The sister she knew. She
Yeah.
knew what she needed to do.
She did a really good job. I was super impressed by how that whole character, that whole thing's going down. Lindsay Duncan plays her. She plays Enver, Moraine's sister, Enver Damondred. I've seen her in a bunch of things. She's a good actress, and to see her have to play someone who psychologically has to pretend to be younger, I don't know how you do that as an actor. I feel like actors get so much. They need to get so much in terms of credit. Because just the way you dive into those roles is kind of ridiculous. So then we move forward, and one of the Alana's warders discovers a prophecy, specifically having to do with the return of Lanfear.
But where did we find it? See, this is where I didn't like. This is the only problem that I had.
Sure.
Dude was snooping.
Oh yeah, all day.
Dude was
Because
snooping.
he couldn't concentrate while they were meditating.
I mean, I get it. Whatever. But
Yeah, no, totally.
it was in Land's bag.
Yeah. So that's Taylor. That's Taylor Napier, by the way, who plays Maxim, and he's the other warder of Alana. Anyways, the idea that there's the possibility that another of the Forsaken is out. We know that Ishamael is out, and we know that all Rand did was defeat Ishamael, who was in the process of getting out. So he helped him get out. And Moraine says that in the trailer for next week, which is she literally is like, hey,
All you did.
Yeah, all you did was release him. You did not. You released one of his strongest lieutenants. And then what does he turn around and do? He brought Lanfear out. So now we understand that the scenes we've been seeing, like the very beginning of this, where he summons her out of the, and it looks like she's brought back out of blood and everything else, that is actually her being pulled out of the Boar. The Boar is where the 100 men, Luthor and Telamon, trapped the Dark One and the Forsaken.
Blood.
Yeah, it's rough. So now they're getting the band back together, and it's
Getting the band back.
man.
Well, and you're gonna have to help me with the name. What was the name of the city? They're all feels like we're all
Kyrene.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I feel like everyone is headed in that direction
Yeah.
because Moraine shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for
Absolutely,
Rand.
she does. Yeah, she does. And what she ends
Wait,
up
who else was there?
she
Who else is
grabs
on their way?
I think
There was
everybody.
somebody else.
Min.
Min.
Yeah, Min.
Min and Matt are on their way.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you about Min.
Yeah.
I like her, but
Yeah.
she got slimy. But she got slimy only because of before that. What's her name? I don't like.
Leandrin.
Leandrin. See, I can't even remember her name. That's how much I don't like her. Man, and she was trying to say that she could take that. From what I understood from that scene is that Leandrin told Min that you can take away that curse that she has of seeing people's future. Is that
Right.
true, or was she just simply saying that, or is she just gonna?
So
Or how would that work? I guess.
okay, remember, and I said I can't lie, and
Right.
Leandrin is not a black Aja, so I'm not worried
Right.
about that. But what she can do is she can tell you.
Wait, there's a what?
Black Aja, which is the group. It's a group there. It's the evil version of Aes Sedai. the
Well,
black
we're gonna have
guys.
to talk about that later.
Yeah, no, for sure, that'll be a thing. So, so what she has promised is that she will help her find a solution or find a way to get rid of it, not that she can actually do it herself. Yeah, so that was an interesting turn of events, if you will. And so, which is that she's gonna be, so now what does Ishamael do? He goes, because he can travel through dreams. Again, people don't realize that's not, and we talked briefly about it last week, that's Teleron Riyadh. That isn't a special power. He's not a mind reader. That's just a skill that has been lost in terms of since the breaking. They have the ability to create these doorways. That eventually they'll do it where it's like you slice into the air and it opens up a door of light.
It's kind of like,
And you can walk through.
Cool.
Well, but the one ability you can do with that is you can go into the world of dreams. So chances are Ishamael absolutely was there in her mind.
okay,
Physically.
probably.
Through
I can see
Teleron
that.
Riyadh, he sat down and what does he do? He has a conversation. It's like, look, and he goes, I can actually do the thing that she told you. So like, what do you, not realizing he's obviously a baddie and can lie. So it's like, you don't trust the Forsaken is all I'm saying. So, but yeah, anything stuck out at you this week that you didn't like that maybe may have kind of.
It was just, I think I already said it. It's just like, I was kind of over the whole tower scene.
Sure. Yeah.
That whole, everything going on there. I needed it. I hope they the ladies find out what they're supposed to be doing, because this is the part of the story that I don't want to deal with it anymore. And you know me, you get like that sometimes. Like it's the same thing over and over. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's just this would be a section of the story I can do without now, because they have just drawn it so much. I feel like it was so many. They've just used the whole tower scene a lot, which maybe they have to. Forgive me, but there's just so much more going on. I think that everything, and I realize everything's trying to go into place, but
right. Well, the one thing in the books, the one thing that happened is Tar Valon is definitely seen as the central or hub, so to speak. So a lot of information goes through Tar Valon, and you actually get in the stories. A whole months, if not a year or so, passes while things happen and whatnot are going.
okay,
and you find information out.
that's fair.
So that's probably why we've been sticking a little bit close to there. But also, there's a lot of events that have to come up. We still have the schism in the tower. We have all kinds of things to happen, at least event-wise, if they're going to cover a lot of it.
I think they will. I mean,
We did have a major reveal tonight, though. Toward the end of the episode, that's when Rand ends up, while he's bumping uglies with Celine, I thought she was dirty from the get-go. I didn't necessarily, because there was a scene in the books that I may or may not got confused with from book 2, where he ends up cutting someone's head off just because he's in this. They haven't even remotely touched on it in the show. There's this concept that Rand's dad taught him, which was actually how he ends up learning how to channel better. They call it the Way of the Flame, which is as a sword master, you put the vision of a fire in your head and you feed your emotions into it, thus leaving you cold and barren to feel nothing. So you can execute logically certain things. So in the book, he's in the throes of that. And ends up, out of habit, killing someone. I thought it was Celine, but come to find out I'm wrong, because Celine turns out is Lanfear.
Yes.
And the minute that was uncovered by Dude, I was like, okay, that's her. It's got to be her all day. Because Lanfear's history, briefly, and again, my memory is all shot, so everybody by all means jump in the comments, because again, I know y'all love doing that. And in it, I believe that Lanfear either loved or had a huge, massive crush on Lews Therin. I'm pretty sure they may have even been together prior to his relationship to the woman who became his wife later. I'm trying to remember what that whole scenario. But bottom line is, she is like psychotically, basic instinctly in love with Lews Therin,
which is out now
Rand.
Yeah.
Right. So, and as soon as Moiraine slices her throat and stabs her through, as they're leaving in a huff, because Rand's ready to use his powers on her, and she's got to tell him, "I can't lie, bro." So whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. What part of that? I don't know how many times does she need to say that to any of them anymore?
No kidding.
Well, I mean, they can't lie. They can't outright lie, but. I mean, I get it.
They can. There's lies of omission. There's
they just
whatever,
can't say. I think your shirt is white.
That's right. No, that's right. But she's got to be present for the fall of Tyr. That's, I think, probably going to be next season. The Tyr, and they need the sword. There's a sword made of crystal.
Oh, cool.
That is a Turing Griel, and it's supposed to be the Dragon Reborn sword. And eventually, that's where. Remember, I told you that. So in the book, by the way, spoilers for the books and the show. If you haven't read anything, and you don't want to know anything, go away. Because I love talking about the books. It helps me remember stuff, and it engages us in conversation with you guys. In the books, she's there when Tyr falls. The Aiel. Moraine.
Moraine, okay.
Moraine and Lanfear have their big fight there.
You did tell me that they were gonna battle it out.
In the end, Moraine sacrifices herself by pushing Lanfear into something, like fighting her on a level that ain't nobody seen in a while, and it's really epic, and it's a wonderful way to see things off.
Well, to be honest, now I really hope they do a very good job on that.
I think they should,
and I think they should show it, not just say, "Hey, there was this huge fight." I think it's epic enough for you to bring it up, like in the book.
Right. Well, part of the issue is that you're going to have is that Rosamund Pike is a big actress, and you don't bring her on just to then have her not sit the sidelines. Yeah. So if they do get rid of her,
she'll be around for a few seasons, then I bet.
Right. So at the end of the day, like, what do you do? Because again, she doesn't in the books. Moraine doesn't show back up until much, much later.
Really?
Got our second name drop for Cadsuane Sedai. I'm telling you, when she shows up, Cadsuane's going to be a beast. Cadsuane eventually replaces Moraine in terms of the person who's trying to steer the Dragon Reborn to the final battle. And unlike Moraine, she takes the stance that, well, if I can't beat him, I may as well join him and help the boy. So she ends up essentially swearing some measure of fealty to him, which is incredible. So, hey, you. What's going on?
Mama.
That's what we're doing?
There was no cats in this episode, but thanks for your opinion.
I haven't seen her in a while.
So, we almost forgot to talk about something
go ahead.
Was when Moraine went to go see what's his name at the asylum.
Yes.
I didn't realize Logain, that's his name. I didn't realize that's who she was going to see. I honestly thought because of the wine that she grabbed, she was going to go see Rand. But then I remembered Rand was the one that took him the wine.
Right. And the minute she said something about the wine, that's when I started being like, is she going to go see Logain? What's going on here? And then Logain even says, he's like, you're the reason why I'm not in the tower being, she's like, oh yeah, the yellows and the browns all wanted to inspect you and that you wouldn't have found it pleasant. So she knew better. And she tells him, she's like, you're going to teach Rand everything you know about, you're going to help him and you're going to mentor him. And once you're done, I will give you the knife, because he clearly wants to die. He no longer can touch the source.
Mad, yeah.
She understands that firsthand. I'm just waiting for her to get down and get her powers back. The minute she gets her powers back, she's going to be a beast. So, yeah, for real. No, because it's a process that they don't understand yet. That's one of the things that Nynaeve fixes. And she brings back is a lot of old.
Well, she was also, we forgot to mention this when she was in the Arches last week, that she used the one source, which you're not supposed to be able to do.
That's right.
We forgot to mention that last week. So for the fact, and it reminded me when they mentioned it, is it true you really did that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, she's lying.
So,
see what I did there? Sorry, let me stop.
No, you're good. You're good.
It's late here.
So then there's another episode. So then there's another moment where she's talking. Nynaeve is talking to Liandrin down in the Arches room, and Liandrin comes up with the fact that they're getting reports of Western invaders from the West, Archer Hawkwing's people, the Shan-Chan. And so they, remember, because we're still in technically the Hunt of Valyr. We're in the Hunt of Valyr. I think we're going through major parts, swaths of Book 2, but we're also creeping into Book 3 and even some events from Book 4. And so, because I think you have to...
Probably because you don't have to write it linear. You can write it dropping pieces in at the time.
Absolutely.
To make... Because, like, things that go on, people forget some in history, things that were going on in Canada at one point was not what was going on in, like, Brazil. It's the same time period, you know? It all goes the same direction.
Right. And so we're getting a much more contracted timeline of events, and I think it's going to be it's good. I like where the story's going. Again, so much so that I stopped nitpicking most of the way through this episode and was just watching and enjoying the episode. When the credits rolled, it was like I'd never seen anything about this IP. I just literally knew. I was like, oh my goodness, I got to wait till next week, and I was so frustrated. So. There you go. Now you know. If knowing's half the battle, you're halfway to being a know-it-all yourself. What's the know-it-all index for us this week? Do we agree on your number? I think we did. I was going to move my... Okay. So overall, We're giving this an 8.0 out of 10 for this episode. That's the consensus. We're going to stick to it. That's our number. 8.0 out of 10 for this episode, which is Daughter of Night. What are your thoughts? I know what's technically supposed to happen, but where do you think the show's going? Let's pretend there are no books involved. What do you think?
What do you mean, like?
Pretend there's that I don't know that there's no backstory, that you don't like. Just speculate as if it's a brand new show to all of us.
I mean, because I'm okay. I can't really speculate. I mean, I think there's going to be some really big thing going down in the city.
Sure.
And I don't know when the ladies got what's her name?
Leandrin.
Leandrin. Why do I have such a hard time with
Call
her
it
name?
the Red if you want to.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, just call it the Red. You're good. Don't get hung up.
The Red. Used the one source and blew them back and knocked them out. I'm like, well, are you going to kidnap them all? I mean, I can't see that happening, but I don't, or lock them all up or take them all. When I say kidnap them all, I mean take them to where they were going to be going with her.
Right.
So she's either going to scoop them up or lock them up. I haven't decided that.
Nice.
I think Perrin's heading towards the city as well.
Yeah.
Because that's where the wolves are leading.
Yep.
Well, we know Rand and Moraine, they're already there.
Yeah, we're already dealing with a lot of things.
Who I'm missing? Oh, Matt and Min, they're headed that way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everyone's converging on. We're moving on to the
Except
next.
for the ones that are out on the west as prisoners, and that's where
the Shinarans but Perrin got away.
Perrin got away.
Perrin got away. He's walking around. He's traveling around with the wolf guys now, learning his
and
his
the
wolfiness.
ogre that.
The Ogier.
Ogre.
Yeah, no, the Ogier. Or ogre. You want to just flat out call him an ogre. Loyal. Yeah, man, Loyal is.
He was captured, but who else was captured?
It was just the Shinarans and Loyal. Everybody else. I mean, there were some. I'm sure there was no Aes Sedai probably been taken.
No, I thought there was somebody else with him. So
if I'm not mistaken,
So they're headed towards the city too.
Who?
They're coming from the west.
No, so they're there.
They?
They're establishing themselves there. They're putting a
That's where I
foothold
misunderstood
in.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're trying to get the Shan-Chan are trying to get a foothold before. Because here's the thing: the Shan-Chan are really nice conquerors. They walk in. Yes, they conquer. They fight off your warriors. But once they get in, they're basically like, "Hey, we're reclaiming Arthur Hawkwing's lands. We don't want to mess too much with y'all. You can literally keep doing life as you want. Swear fealty to us." You swear fealty to the Shining Throne, and literally it's like, and you sworn fealty? Awesome. See you later. They don't cause much trouble. They're not conquerors. To them, they are retaking what was originally theirs.
Right. Okay.
So they're not coming in to destroy anything. They're literally being like, you're our people, whether you remember it or not. We're just bringing you back under our flag. So we don't want to hurt you. We want you to work with it. You know what I mean? That's it. And I'm down. I'm like, all right. There you go. Let us know what you thought. Comment section below. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts about this episode. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow organically. I hope you're liking all the stuff we're putting out there. There is a poll if you want to go into the community tab. Do me a favor. I'm just trying to find out where the channel should go. If we should start kind of steering more towards some things that are doing a little better once in a while, or if there's other things you guys would like to see from the channel. So feel free to sound off on that. Don't forget to follow us on all the different social medias at A Real Know-It-All, and she is at A Mrs. Know-It-All. So yeah, man, we're loving what we're doing. We'll talk to you guys next week. Never forget.
Everyone loves a know-it-all.
She said. See you guys then.
Bye.